Hello and welcome to another episode of Castaway, where we take a well-known film that we all love and enjoyed as kids or as adults, and we imagine we're living in an alternative universe where it's never been made. So we're going to make it in the next 12 months. We've got our dosh to get our cast, so we are going to cast away this new film. It's a film that's been put on my desk. It's called something called The Wizard of Oz. There are
That's an interesting script.
yeah, so there's a few characters here. You've all been given the people we need to cast. So let's hit it off first with our Dorothy. Anybody got any ideas for Dorothy?
I've got an idea, sir.
Yeah. And what's your idea?
Right, mate. Dorothy, funny enough, after our first Castaway episode last week, it's given me the casting, and it's probably given you the casting, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yep, I've got exactly the same person.
Yeah, I'm thinking straight away, actors, actresses, people who can sing as well as act. I want them to be able to act and sing. Apparently, there are quite a few good songs in here.
Apparently, it's something to do with rainbows and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently, something to do with rainbows. Something about some yellow brick road that they've got to follow. Some lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! Yeah.
But yet, I've got Millie Bobby Brown as well. How about you, Dave? Who have you got for Dorothy?
Well, having read the book, and I have a tendency to find the books get made into better films. We've all seen there was one that came out recently called Harry Potter. I really read this book, and it was written in 1900. And I thought we really need to get with it in terms of, updating this. I thought from a 1900 audience into 2020. So I went for, I've got a couple of options. I went for a bit of a safe bet. So forgive me that I said Emma Stone, because I just thought that would work for me. But I wondered if she was too old. I need somebody younger.
I think you'll find she's aged out of that one now.
Yeah. So my other option then, I thought, you know what? You want somebody that can sing and act and can be a draw. There's a great actress called Zendaya that was in one of these Spider-Man films. She would be great.
Oh, yeah, she is. Cracking does the lot. She did, was it the Hugh Jackman film as well before was it the Greatest Showman?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
I
think
I've
really
heard
good.
of that. Yeah, she's singing star and everything as well. Does the whole dancing thing. You've seen the videos of her and Tom Holland together. Yeah, good as well. That's it. Yeah, so it's a battle, really, I think, between her and Millie Bobby Brown. That's it. Personally, I'll be very happy with either. They both sing well. They both act well. They both do the dancing and everything. I'll be very happy with either of those. It'd be really good. I'd maybe give Millie Bobby Brown simply for the youth. Really, Zendaya's really good, but once again, she's like Tom Holland, who's about 23, something like that.
Yeah.
And Millie Bobby Brown's 16. Yeah. I think the youth might just give her an edge there, but I wouldn't be disappointed if it was Zendaya.
Yeah, that's the reason I picked this Millie as well, is purely from the age perspective and the bright-eyed, innocent look about her that's Dorothy's supposed to have. So,
well, you see singing as well. She's absolutely fantastic voice on her.
I've only ever seen her in something called Godzilla. I don't know where else she's been in.
Oh, don't you see her doing stuff? She's like turned up on shows really where she's actually been singing, and she's done videos released with her singing and stuff like that. The girl's got a really, really good voice. Really genuine.
Has she done any TV series or anything like
that? You know what?
Right, and on to the next one. We've got something, a character here called...
So, are we going to go with the star of Stranger Things, Monty's favourite show? You know what? He loves it.
Monty loves the Stranger Things.
Oh, he loves it so bad. Christ, have you seen the posters that he's had knocked up with him? His face actually in there. Oh, it's fantastic stuff.
Right. So we're all agreed then that it's going to be Millie Bobby Brown as our Dorothy. So there's our first one off the list.
I think you won the role there.
Yeah, I agree. Our next one then, a character called Scarecrow.
Yep.
Who's going to have no brain.
Anybody else want to go first? Because I'll go first there all day.
Go on,
well,
then.
I'll go first on this one. I've got three, and it depends who ends up ultimately doing it. I've got three people here. So my first one was a bit silly, and again, age, and he may overact it. Now, bear with me, but I got these three. I've got Jim Carrey as one option. Apologies, but age, is he going to carry it? Would he take it seriously enough? Because I think there's a bit of heart in the Scarecrow. My other option was Seth MacFarlane, who I just love, who I just think would be amazing at it.
Yeah,
my other option was a bit left field. There's a program called Modern Family. I think the guy who plays Phil Dunphy, Ty Burrell, would be an amazing Scarecrow.
Actually, yeah, he would, yeah. Oh, that swung me a little bit there, but I've got
Is
somebody
he the ginger guy?
No, it's the dad.
Oh.
Yeah, I just think he's amazing. So he would be a brilliant Scarecrow.
I've got much younger. Monty, do you want to go first, or shall I now?
I've only got one person down.
I've only got one for this as well. You go, and then I'll go last because I went first last time.
Might not be very popular with you two. I'm just going on what I've seen of him from having kids watch him a lot 10 years ago, and he's about the right age for the role of Scarecrow, and he can sing and he can act. It's Zac Efron.
Good. I don't particularly see him as Scarecrow. He's a bit too buff, good-looking. He's a bit too much of like the buff, good-looking guy.
He's a bit too clean.
I don't know. Could he act that role? I don't know. Maybe he can. Maybe it would be really funny to do a completely self-depreciating sort of Rob Lowe style, sort of pick yourself apart and make yourself look the idiot. It could be an interesting twist on there. I think I've got the guy though.
Go on then.
I've picked one person, and I'm pretty sure I've nailed it. Once again, I'm going for somebody who's an actor who's shown in their career, they've shown how to play the dummy, they've shown how to play the caring guy and everything. And funnily enough, they've shown that they can, they've got a really good voice and everything, and they've got a great recording career. It's Donald Glover, the Childish Gambino. You look at him in Community, all of the stuff that he does with him and Abbott, he'd be able to play that dumb, really lovable character, full of heart and everything, really well, and really taking the whole Michael Jackson whiz sort of idea.
That's what just jumped straight into my head, that the whiz thing, and yeah, you've just won me over, mate. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna support that one.
He's one. As soon as the idea popped in my head, I thought Donald Glover. He'd just be perfect. He can do all the dancing. He can do the singing. His acting skills are great and everything. I really think he'd portray the character and put it across really well.
See, my issue with it is, your Dorothy is the one that carries the musical numbers and needs to be the one that
each of them have the musical number, and they all join in with the other musical numbers.
Whereas for me, Scarecrow is the comedy element. So you can have a physical actor. You don't need to have a great singer. You don't need to have that. So I get it, and I'll go with Donald Glover. I think it's a really good shout. But having read the book, if we're going to make it, I think we could have had something a little bit more. I get away with slapstick.
There was a script idea they got going around called The Wiz as well, which kind of worked for me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Are we all going to agree on Donald Glover, even though Dave?
Yeah, I love Donald Glover. It's a great show.
Yeah, okay, then. So we got Donald Glover as our Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Okay, and next
Monty, you're up first this time.
Oh, you're not going to like this, but
Who we going?
I'm going Tin Man at the minute, and you're probably not gonna like this, but it makes sense to me. Are you ready?
Go on.
John Barrowman.
He's a great one.
So that was Castaway. I'm Fingermouse. I'm off. See you later, John Barrowman.
I've got John Barrowman up for a different role. I think he'd be perfect for this. Not so much for the Tin Man. I've got him for a different role in here.
Dave, who have you got for Tin Man?
All right, hear me out. Again, I think if you read the book, and the script that I've read is about somebody who is meant to be really brave. Sorry, not meant to be really brave. Meant to have a heart and be caring, but because it's been taken away,
he doesn't have a heart.
So I went for something completely left field. I went for Michael Fassbender because I just think he can carry that off brilliantly.
It's interesting. I'm not completely against that either. You know, that's not bad.
I think it'd be fantastic.
It would be an interesting thing. I'd like to hear his voice, whatever he sounds like.
Yeah.
See, the reason I went with John Barrowman is he's not based on his campy, singy, and dancey way. It's just
he's a great actor. Actually, he is a performer.
Like Dave is talking about a character who hasn't got a heart but really has deep down. And if you watch his character in Arrow, he plays that kind of thing down to a T. And that's why he's there. He's got the singing ability. He's got the acting ability. He can play dark but light. I just thought he was perfect for it. But who have you got for Tin Man, Martin?
I want to let you two argue it out before I come in and deliver the knockout punch. Because once again, I'm pretty happy, really, with the people that I've cast for Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion. I'm really, really happy with. I think I've got some really good choices here. And I don't want to. I'd like you two to get an argument for your guys.
All right then. Well, put it this way: if I'm making this film, John Barrowman's coming nowhere near this script. It's too hot for somebody like John Barrowman. Yeah.
Oh no, The Wizard of Oz was made for John Barrowman. Who else could pull off singing and dancing in such a way?
You know, if we'd have made this film in the late 30s, early 40s, which some people are talking about, or we made a campy musical over-the-top Motown fest in the 70s, I'd have got away with John Barrowman. We are talking, you've got to make it fairly realistic. You've got to make it believable. Michael Fassbender could make that role believable. I think he would be an amazing Tin Man. I can imagine him getting that heart and doing it.
All I can think of when I'm thinking of Michael Fassbender is David the Robot in the Prometheus and Alien Covenant movies. And he's great at that. Bringing a singing and dancing metal man to life is a different kettle of fish.
All I think about when I think of John Barrowman is a fake Scottish accent and a Queen celebration at the London Palladium. He's coming nowhere near a script of mine for what could potentially be.
It's not a fake Scottish accent. It is his accent.
It is. Go on then, Martin.
Yeah, he switches that Scottish accent on and off quicker than Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park. He's coming nowhere near this script.
I think you two make good points and arguments for you guys. Now I'm going to hit you with my knockout blow. Jermaine Clement of Flight of the Conchords. The guy would be just perfect for it. His acting chops, if you've seen him in some of the stuff recently, like Legion as well, where he's played switches to playing a villain and everything. If you saw him at all in Flight of the Conchords, really in everything that he's acted and been in recently, the guy's got the chops, he's got the musical ability, he can switch around, he'd be able to play that character as well, who does, you think of it, doesn't have the heart, you know, accidentally just killing, he could be killing people willingly, not caring about it, and then gets the heart at the end. I think he could switch it around. The musical numbers would be great for it. I think he'd be a cracking version for it. And you're switching around places where people come from.
Only problem I've got is not enough people know who he is, and I want to have some stars.
But a second, I think you'll find most people do know who he is now. He's been in a hell of a lot of films.
I'm just talking about the everyone. I want to have some star quality. I want to have some glam and pizzazz and some jazz.
You've got plenty of star quality there.
There's Barrowman in it.
Mark Cowardly Lion, you've got massive star quality, but I think the space for Jermaine Clement, I think, would be the performance to put in there. I think the guy's he's just going to be perfect for it.
Well, if Barrowman's a no,
doing any of the Flight of the Conchords stuff, and you think Man Without a Heart, it'd just be, you see him doing the songs and the performances, the guy he's got it sewn up.
What do you think of that, Dave?
I think it's an all right shout. It doesn't leap off the page for me. But I'm very much a Flight of the Overrated Conchords myself. You know, I was one of those where certain things, certain bits and pieces like that really, really leave me cold. Flight of the Conchords is one. Tenacious D is another. When somebody says it's good, when somebody rams something down my throat that it's brilliant, generally speaking, it doesn't do much for me. And Flight of the Conchords was one of those. However, I will concede that, he could probably do a good shout at that. Would I take Jermaine Clement over John Barrowman? Absolutely. I'd give him the money myself and cast him and do what I had to do. But yeah, I went for a slightly different element. It's all very obvious and cozy at the moment with what we've got. I wanted something a little bit different. Hence why my choice for the Lion
very
is
just and
well.
cozy, because we've chose people who can act and sing. God damn it, and throw a dance move together.
I'd say, yeah. Look, you're thinking of a film. If you were going to make it in the 30s or 70s, it's not always about.
No. I'm thinking of a film at the moment. We've received this script, but it's got these musical numbers in it, and if you listen to the musical numbers, I've played them out on the piano before. They're fantastic musical numbers. I can really imagine these coming across. The soundtrack could be absolutely huge for this movie. This could go stage, film, touring around. You could sell a fortune on the soundtrack. You really could. That's Somewhere Over the Rainbow tunes, really good. The Tin Man himself, he's got If I Only Had a Heart, which is a really nice tune. I can very much imagine Jermaine Clement doing that, really putting it across well.
I think the only problem I've got here with Michael Fassbender doing a singing and dancing role, it'd be as painful to watch as Russell Crowe was when he was doing
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables, and it was great, I think, for me. So as much as I want Barrowman, you two, Dave would rather slit his own bell end off than have Barrowman. So I think we're going to have to go with Jermaine Clement then.
Yeah.
So there's our Tin Man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. These three, the psychic guys, I love this film idea. It's one of those film ideas. If I'd seen it when I was a child, I'd have loved this very day. It really would hit me.
Right then, our Lion.
Cowardly Lion first?
Yeah, you can go first this time, Mart.
Okay. Cowardly Lion, Chris Hemsworth. Big, the guy, he's basically, when you read through the script, he kicks off as the farmhand who seems like Amazingly Brave and all that, but he's a coward, really. And Hemsworth can do that comedy act. He can do the good acting. As I was saying the other week, funnily enough, when they were doing Ghostbusters, the women on there mentioned he was singing as well, and he can sing really well. The guy started off really got noticed by people doing dancing with the stars as well, so he can dance as well. He can take the whole lot, the choreography and everything. And I think he'd be a really big name to put in there. I think he'd enjoy it as well.
I think he's too much of a clean-cut, buff, blue-eyed boy for it for me.
Wait a second. Stubborny guy who's just done Extraction. I think you're talking out your wazoo there, trying to come up with an argument.
I'm looking at the character and what it brings, and I've got three choices, and they're so different to what you've just chose for the Cowardly Lion.
Go for it.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Got three, and you're probably not going to like the first one. You may like the second one, and I think Martin will love my third choice, right? So here we go. First one, you ready? James Corden.
No. I think we can all say straight away no.
Okay, well, cross him off.
I don't mind James Corden like you guys. I just don't think he's a fit for that role at all.
Okay, then. My next one, Seth Rogen, the weed-smoking guy.
Yeah.
I love Seth Rogen. I just don't see him playing cowardly particularly well. I've seen him in Green Hornet and all that, where he tried to do that was not so good. What he plays well, he plays really well, and I love it. I wouldn't be completely averse to it, but it's not really kicking me in the ghoulies and saying you've got to pick me.
Okay, and here's my third choice.
He can sing at all.
Here's my third choice. I'm not so much thinking about the singing. I'm thinking about the character that I've seen on the paper and the way these guys play it. Okay, James Corden was a bit of a joke, really. I was thinking about Seth Rogen because I think he's got that comedy element down to a T, really. But okay, just see what you think on this one. Nick Frost. Oh, look at that silence. The tumbleweeds.
Is that better?
So Nick Frost is out then.
I like across very much. I've seen him recently fighting with the family and all that. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay, we'll cross
I
it.
I don't think he's got any musical ability for singing anything.
Come on then, Dave, win us over.
All right.
Really.
I've got two choices. My first one I thought about well over a week ago, and I thought this just sits really well with me. So my first choice was Idris Elba. I just think he'd be a great Cowardly Lion. And I can actually imagine him doing that turnover when he becomes brave and doing what he needs to. I just thought he was great. But then I thought, when I read the book, I thought it needs a bit of a comedic element. And then another name that came in, and I saw lots of really obvious performances. There's a show on something called Netflix that my daughter keeps watching. And it's a show called Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And he's called Terry Crews. I think he'd be a great Cowardly Lion.
I love Terry Crews. Love him. I don't know if Terry's going to play cowardly, but, you know, I do love Terry Crews. He's fantastic.
I think either of those, for different reasons, would pull it off fantastically. Yeah. I love Idris Elba. Ignore the fact that he did something called Cats, which, you know, probably didn't give him his best light. But
there you go. Okay, yeah. Let's defeat that. As much as I love Idris Elba, yeah, I think Idris Elba rules himself out for doing Cats. That's what he wants to go from Cats to a Cowardly Lion. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think comparisons would be kindly drawn there.
And are we saying then we wouldn't go for James Corden because it's James Corden?
Yes.
James Corden's just wrong for it. I think that the guy in the script and all that, he's one, he wants to be seen as brave and everything, but he's just a bit of a coward, really. You want the comedy, but you want him to seem as if he's heroic. That's what I liked about sort of Idris and your choices there. You want him to, and Terry Crews, or you want him to seem brave and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Terry Crews.
The only thing I've ever seen of Terry Crews doing was that the one off White, the song off White Chicks.
Yeah,
you know, which is.
I just think it'd be amazing.
I think I'm going to go. I prefer Crews over Hemsworth. I just don't think Hemsworth fits for me.
You kidding? Hemsworth, who can sing, who can dance, who can act, who can do comedy, who's a huge name star as well. You just complained about not having a huge name star. Now I'm beginning a huge name star, and he'd be somebody. You know that he'd be up for the sense of humour and doing something like this, especially for his kids to be able to watch.
Well, I've got to look at it as a cast overall, and I think of the level that we've picked so far, Hemsworth comes across as too much of a major player and not on any.
Yeah, I think
he's
too big.
Hemsworth went and did Ghostbusters as the sidekick sort of thing.
Yeah, and he stole the movie.
Play second fiddle.
So that it's. I think he's too big a star for a small for the.
I think you two are trying to gang up on the best idea here to try and give yourselves there, because Hemsworth is the best by a long shot. There,
I think we
even looks like. Look at the guy. Look at him. The blood, the stuff, and everything. Even looks like.
I would have had Hemsworth for the Scarecrow over the Lion. Hemsworth would have been a better fit. The Scarecrow's a bigger role.
Too big and bulky for the Scarecrow. The Scarecrow's got to be a much smaller sort of. Frail type of guy.
Not when you read the book. For me, it's that.
Yeah, I've read the book. I've seen yes.
The lion's too big for him. The lion's too. Sorry, the lion's too small a role for Hemsworth.
Well, you've been outvoted, Martin. That's what they're calling the business. Talk shit. And it's Terry Crews.
It's on me and taking me out the brothers Palmer. Oh, you little devils.
Terry Crews, yeah. You don't know what you're
talking about. That's the best idea there.
Bloody Thor is freaking a lion. Stupid.
And he'd be brilliant as it. That would have been the casting.
Right.
You've had two Idians there in the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion as well.
Well, we're going to go on to.
That could be in the cast.
We're going to go on to another, just a little part called Toto. Have you had any feelings on Toto, Dave?
You know what? It was the one where he's going to be CGI for me, and it's going to be Tom Holland as the voice of Toto. That was it.
No, I want to bend the trend here, and I want to go.
Not for the first time, I hear, Mark.
Yeah. I think we should go for a live action guy in a suit type angle.
I don't mind if it's motion capture or live action.
I think the guy
I've got
perfect.
one actor for this role.
I mean,
There's one actor I think could really embody the role of Toto.
Yeah, it's only a little role as well, so I think he's perfect for it.
He's a great little actor for this little role.
Yeah, my choice is Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis completely, yeah. Great little actor.
Toto is Warwick Davis, then brilliant. That's it. That's agreed.
Yeah.
Next one. We're going to go.
There you go.
And it's interesting because we will be talking small people shortly. And yeah, I mean, it's terrible that you're limited for you small people, but there we go. All right, okay. I get it.
You got people down. I'm just thinking great little actors.
Right, Wicked Witch. Our Wicked Witch.
I've got it down to 2. One of them was so obvious. And the other one, I've got it down to 2. Go on then, Mark.
I've got Lena Headey, who plays Cersei in Game of Thrones, and she was in Judge Dredd and other things. I think the way she performs in Game of Thrones as Cersei, she could pull off the nasty, evil bitch of a woman that we need in this. I thought she was cracking for the role.
Cool.
I'm not completely against that. I am not. Do you want me to go and then you, Dave, or the other way around?
Yeah, go on then. No, I'm happy for you to go.
I've got one name for it, really. Aubrey Plaza. You look at her face, she can just switch on that deadly evil look. Safety not guaranteed, Parks and Recs, everything. She just switches on that look. Well, permanently, pretty much everything she ever does, she can turn on the evil look fantastically well.
I agree she can turn on the evil look, and I can agree she can give that cutting glance and everything else. The only thing I've got a problem with her is I don't think she's got the age, and I also don't think...
Yeah, that's my... I completely agree.
And I also don't think she's got a very authoritative presence to...
Oh, no, she's got the authoritative presence. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look at her in Parks and Recs when she's just turning everyone away and stuff. Yeah, she's got the authoritative presence. I'll completely agree. I don't think she's got the age. She was just the actress that struck me. First of all, she'd be great. But if we're going to go with the old lady in the script, yeah, she's probably not the person for it. But I think she's got everything else there.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Right, well, I got 2, because I was thinking of my Glinda the Good Witch, and I wanted to think of something a little bit left field. Then I thought about a dynamic with my Dorothy. So I got 2. One of them is so obvious, and I went, hang on. And then the more I thought about it over the case of a week, I thought, no, is it too obvious? So forgive me. I went Angelina Jolie as my option 1, because she did an amazing job as Maleficent. And I just thought she would pull that off really well. She's got the age right. She would be brilliant. And then I thought, you know what? I quite like the idea of somebody, because this is a huge role, and I really like Margot Robbie in it. I just thought she would be great as well. So
Margot Robbie's really interesting for it.
It was a toss-up with those for me because of who I'd got as my Dorothy. And now that we've chosen Millie Bobby Brown, Margot Robbie works that little bit better for me.
I think I would actually go with Margot. I like Lena Headey. Good choice as well there. But I think Margot Robbie might just edge it there. And she'd be funny to see made up to look ugly, because, I mean, that's a beautiful woman.
Okay, I'll go with that. So Margot Robbie as our Wicked Witch. Next then, Glenda.
You know what? I'm going to kick this off.
Yeah.
Nice, safe, dependable, Beyonce. Done. That's it.
Beyonce's a nice choice for it, and she'd be good for a musical number. I don't know if Linda does, but she'd be good for it.
I think she'd be great. I had one choice. That was it. I thought she's casting director, go and speak to her, get her in. I thought she'd be fantastic as Glinda.
That's not us at all. Mark, do you want to go or shall I go?
I've got what I thought was obvious, and it's Emma Stone.
Once again, great choice as well there. Yeah. She might have actually Emma Stone. Yeah, Emma Stone could play the good or the bad. I'd be happy.
Emma Stone would. If we go Margot Robbie, Emma Stone would be a good yin and yang versus Margot Robbie. It's a brilliant shout.
That's it. Because I had 3 choices up here for her: Alison Brie of Community.
Yeah.
Kylie Minogue, because she can do everything there. She'd just be kind of perfect for it. And Rashida Jones, who's just lovely. Every time you see her on screen, she's just lovely.
Yeah, I mean, Alison Brie is just wonderful. I could just watch her shitting on a sponge. I just can't. She's just great.
Is that what you do when you surf in the ocean?
There's just something about that woman that she's just wonderful.
I'm just going to do a Google search for that.
I'd say I think Rashida Jones would be my choice out of those because she's just lovely every time you see her there. Her dad's Quincy Jones. I'm pretty much betting that she's got a pretty decent voice and grown up around the music biz and everything like that. But it's just the fact that whenever you see her on screen, she's lovely. I like Beyonce, but Beyonce maybe does a bit more sort of regal and everything like that. Whereas Rashida Jones is just sort of, you love her. You can't help it. She's just lovely on screen.
I think we've got some interesting choices because of your Dorothy and your Wicked Witch. So you've got Millie Bobby Brown, you've got Margot Robbie. So your Glinda's got to be fairly commanding. So it can't be somebody on an equal footing. She's got to be quite commanding. And they were best mates, Glinda and the Wicked Witch were, up until a certain point. So you've got to get that dynamic right.
It could be then Emma Stone could be the perfect one for it.
I'm gonna as executive producer, I'm gonna throw my weight in. As much as
you're
I like,
not the executive producer.
As much as I enjoy watching Alison Brie shit on a sponge, it's Emma Stone for me.
Yeah,
everybody agree?
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, because they seem like they'd be sisters, sort of thing. You know, that could really play across well.
Yeah.
Right then, our next one is the Mayor of Munchkinland.
Well, I think there's one choice for this and one choice only. The greatest little actor of all little actors.
It's a small role.
3, 2, 1. Warwick Davis.
No, hang on. Whoa. Look,
so it's Warwick Davis. Then on to our next one.
No, hang on. I'd only got one. I'd only got one name.
For amusement's sake, who'd you got, Dave?
I'd only got one name for all things
Who do you
small.
think is better than Warwick Davis?
Peter Dinklage. That was who I went for.
Well, that's a good choice. It's no Warwick Davis.
Sorry, you're being sizist. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Anyway, it's Warwick Davis.
I'd be happy with either.
We'll go for Warwick Davis, who inexplicably is also playing a dog.
Yeah.
It's a captain dog. He's working with that circus.
Oz the Great and Powerful. I've got one choice and one choice on.
Is it Warwick Davis again?
I've got two, and I love both of them for very different reasons. Go on, Mark. You start.
There's only one man who can be Oz the Great and Powerful, and that's Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson.
He's not a bad choice. He's not. I did put him down, and then I crossed him out because Oz the Great and Powerful, from reading the script there, was basically a showman, a bit of a shyster who'd gone and travelled and ended up in Oz. So I was looking for more of a showman than that.
And that's fair enough.
If I go for my... Dave, go first.
All right. Okay. So this was the first name I wrote down. It's also, funnily enough, when the script, it's also Dorothy's Uncle Henry. So I need somebody that she can look up to, that she can admire, that she can respect, that she can love. And he's also a showman, a charlatan, a liar, and bring all those things in. It was one name for me, and then I twisted it slightly about 6 hours ago. Robert Downey Jr. is the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's not a bad choice at all. That's not a bad choice at all. And he can sing as well, singing like his cover songs.
He would be amazing as the Wizard of Oz and Uncle Henry.
Perfect. He wasn't the choice that I had, but he's a really, really nice choice. And he may beat out my choices there. I've got two choices. And once again, it was based on the entertainer, you know, the guy who could be a shyster. It was somebody who could be a performer and everything. And it's Hugh Jackman or indeed John Barrowman.
God, John
Barrowman coming in. Oh, this is what we want to see.
Be perfect, does it? You're telling me that John Barrowman doesn't love the Wizard of Oz? I bet he does, and I bet he'd be fantastic in the role.
So anyway, Robert Downey Jr. is a really good.
Play the showman.
Hey, joking aside,
I'm not joking.
No, you're not. I've been swayed for the Robert Downey Jr. I think the argument I had with Hemsworth not being the Lion was too much of a big star to be a Lion.
But no, the argument you had with Hemsworth being the star was you were trying to cut me out from doing all three of them there.
having a big star like Robert Downey Jr.
the right man for the role.
As the cameo big star for the man behind it all, I think it worked. I'm going to give Dave that. Dave gets my vote.
I'd be happy to go with Robert Downey Jr. as it. I think he could do everything, and he was a person that I didn't think of for it. I think he'd be great, and I think he could do with a good role after leaving the MCU as well.
Yeah.
He was
not doing him any favours at all.
He was the first name I put down when I looked at the cast. He was literally the first name. I just thought it works perfect for me.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, no, it's a great choice.
The one last thing, I was looking at the cast here. It says something about they need flying monkeys, people with wings strapped on their backs, and things like that.
I wonder what fantastic little actor could do that sort of.
Wonderful little role.
It could be CGI. You could go Andy Serkis in a CGI role, but you know when you a great little Peter Dinklage could do it, but it's probably Warwick Davis.
I've got Warwick Davis down as well, so I think Warwick Davis is our flying monkey. So that's all of our roles cast. Has anybody thought of a director we could have for this?
I have indeed.
I think we might all go the obvious here.
Well, when I suggested Flight of the Conchords before and Jermaine Clement, who was the director of Flight of the Conchords as well, guy dealing with music and little video numbers and things like that, Taika Waititi again.
Have you got Dave?
Yeah,
right, well, I went for the nice, safe, obvious option, right? And there's a particular actor that's missing from it. There's only one director really that could get away with creating this weird world, and I'm wearing stripes for a reason. I think Tim Burton would have a go at this.
Oh,
and
no!
And it's weird.
It's 20, 30 years ago, yes.
Oh, no.
Hang on.
Dumbo. Jesus,
He's due a comeback. He's due a comeback. And
did you see Dumbo?
It's
here with me.
He's a tragic waste of space, that bloke is. He's
the
most overrated, cock-sucking piece of wanking piss flap I've ever known on the history of movie making. I would rather shit through gauses and fudge.
Anyway, can I tell you my second option?
The use of witches, the use of the magic, everything like that, twisted world. It could be, but not now.
Can I tell you my second option? Can I tell you my second option, which was a bit more serious, was Sam Mendes. That was my other option. I think he'd do a great job of it.
Yeah, he could probably turn on something and do it there. I mean, he's not as good as Taika Waititi as a choice there, Taika Waititi knows how to bring a colourful, imaginative world onto the screen, and he knows how to deal with musical numbers, and he's got use of past experience as well of doing musical video sort of
I love him. I just think, we've got to be kid-friendly, and a lot of this may go over the kids' heads.
This script's got a wicked witch dropping a house, having a house dropped on her. This script's got some dark twists and turns along with its lovely kids. And I think, from seeing the movies that Taika's done and stuff, I could see Taika doing it very, very well.
Talking of kid-friendly, and it's probably going to be Disney who make it, I'm going to choose Jon Favreau.
Yeah, great family director. I think he'd make it look really pretty and everything. I don't know how he'd cope with doing any musical stuff. As far as I'm aware, he's got no experience whatsoever.
No, that's the only thing that...
Sam Mendes does have some experience of doing musical and stage work. Taika Waititi definitely has the experience of doing that sort of stuff. Favreau's good. He's the indie director made good. He's almost the more successful Kevin Smith that sort of came out. I don't quite think he's the guy for this.
Fair enough.
We were saying I do love Taika, And I think because we've got Downey Jr., we've got Millie Bobby Brown, we've got Jermaine Clement, and we've got Terry Crews,
Yeah.
Donald Glover, you would need that real, absolutely sew that cast together and get that humour on.
Yeah,
And I think Taika would do a great job of that.
Yeah.
And as I say, I think on the poster, Taika Waititi's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
I could just see that. You know, I think people would know.
Yeah, I think I agree. We're on a winner there. So
Much like James Gunn, he's the colourful guy. You imagine that yellow brick road, that emerald city, everything. I think and he's got the sort of the quirkiness that came really with like Henson, sort of really, you know, that sort of. Now that the Hensons are both gone, you're looking for someone to add that sort of weird quirk. I mean, if they'd been around, I'd love for them to have done things like, you know, instead of having short actors or whatever playing the Munchkins.
I also think what
or something would have been nice.
I also think who would work well with him as in a little job as an assistant to the director is Warwick Davis.
Yeah. Well, we were saying I think the cast is a bit Warwick Davis heavy, and Peter Dinklage needed to be in there as something as well. One of the roles we forgot to cast, it's only a small role but quite important one, is Auntie M, which can only be Olivia Colman.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've just told me. I've got no argument.
Yeah, no, I'd be very much into Olivia Colman in anything like this. Yeah, fantastic. I'm up for Olivia Colman. That'd be great. Have you got an assistant director or anything that you'd like for it?
Not really.
Well, I'm wearing stripes because I think Tim. But no, I'm joking. But that was a joke, by the way. So I think this is a good film.
Yeah, so who have we got then for the cast?
So for our Dorothy, we got Millie Bob Brown. For our Scarecrow, we have Donald Glover. For our Tin Man, we have Jermaine Clement. For our Cowardly Lion, we've got Terry Crews.
We should have had Chris Hemsworth.
For Toto, we've got Warwick Davis. For the Wicked Witch, we've got Margot Robbie. For Glenda the Good Witch, we've got Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Oz the Great and Powerful, we have Robert Downey Jr. For the
out of left field, fantastic choice.
For the Mayor of Munchkinland, we've got Warwick Davis. For Auntie M, we've got Olivia Colman.
No.
For the Flying Monkeys, we've got Warwick Davis. For the director, we have Taika Waititi. And for the assistant director or assistant to the director, just a small job, is Warwick Davis.
Yeah, cool.
And Peter Dinklage plays the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, I hope he can get
plays the gatekeeper of the City of Oz.
I hope he can get some time off Tenable to do it.
And there we have it then. So there we are, guys. There's another film cast. The Wizard of Oz goes in production soon. And I'm sure he's going to be a blockbuster with that kind of...
So how long do you reckon this one comes out, Monty?
When will this be coming out?
Yeah. Is this next year?
What you mean, the film you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say at the minute, probably around about 22, 23, depending on what happens and would he decide to disappear, as I said.
Oh, he's back.
Oh, and he's back.
Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing this at the cinema, and I think that soundtrack album sounds like a killer too.
Yeah, there's a few catchy tunes in it, isn't there?
There really, really are. And you can imagine all the cast that really we've got there, apart from Terry Crews, who should have been Chris Hemsworth, will be great singing their tunes as well. In fact,
well, I can't wait to hear.
With experience directed by Taika Waititi, are you sure you don't want to change your mind and cast him again in it?
I can't wait to hear Warwick Davis pull off that absolute classic, "We represent the Lollipop Guild." I think he's going to do a really good job of that.
The Lollipop Guild.
We're not going to use his voice. We'll just mess with it.
And in the name of the Lollipop Guild, we wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
So there we have it.
So Peter Falk might be in it as well. So great stuff.
So there we have it. Do you want to say goodbye, Fingermouse?
Bye, Fingermouse.
Do you want to say goodbye, Woody?
Bye-bye, Woody.
And I'm off to go and watch Alison Brie shit on a sponge. Bye.
Hello and welcome